Tonight on Atlantic Focus, the music of the legendary folk heroes Ryan's Fancy. For the next 6 weeks, every Monday night, we'll hear some of the songs made famous by Dennis Ryan, Dermot O'Reilly, and Fergus O'Byrne. We'll chat to Fergus about this music and the legacy that Ryan's Fancy leaves behind for generations of musicians. Tonight on Atlantic Focus. Hi, I'm Krysta Rudofsky. Welcome to Atlantic Focus. Over the next 6 weeks, every Monday night, we'll feature the music of Ryan's Fancy. More than 35 years ago, musicians Dennis Ryan, Fergus O'Byrne, and Dermot O'Reilly emigrated from Ireland to Toronto and made their way to St. John's. In 1971, they took to the stage as Ryan's Fancy, a band that would bring East Coast music to a national audience. They played to packed houses at the Strand Lounge in the Avalon Mall and sold out shows all over Canada. Ryan's Fancy was given their own national TV series, and they traveled throughout Atlantic Canada celebrating East Coast culture and heritage. They were folklorists, recording and preserving songs passed down through generations of Newfoundlanders. Ryan's Fancy recorded 13 albums, and though they disbanded in 1983, their influence on the local music scene lives on. They popularized folk music, reintroducing traditional music to a young generation of Newfoundlanders. Great Big Sea, The Punters, Shanneyganock credit Ryan's Fancy for the strength of the Atlantic Canadian music scene today. In 2004, the band came together once again to perform at the East Coast Music Awards. They were honored with the Dr. Helen Creighton Lifetime Achievement Award for their contribution to the music industry. Here on Atlantic Focus, we've got some special moments from Ryan's Fancy shows in the 1970s, songs they learned from Newfoundlanders while they traveled the province. But in the next 6 weeks, we'll also bring you the stories from the shows. And joining me now in the studio, Fergus O'Byrne. Fergus, how are you doing?
I'm delighted to be here, Krysta. I'm really pleased about this idea of the show. I'm looking forward to, over the next 6 weeks, seeing some of the footage, because a lot of this stuff I haven't seen in years. I watch it every now and then, but I'm really looking forward to exploring it with all the viewers out there.
Yeah, it's been such a treat for us here to see some of this footage, you know, and 35 years after the fact, this music really still lives on. What was it, do you think, about Ryan's Fancy that resonated with people?
The hair. I think it was, you know, the band was a magical band in terms of the three distinct individuals performing. And we just happened to gel vocally and musically, and in particular myself and Dermot really gelled very close together musically. The first time we met, it just seemed to happen. It was a natural sort of joining together of musical talents, and it was a fabulous time.
Now, it's been an emotional year for you. Your friend Dermot O'Reilly passed away earlier this year. Tell me about your friendship, what he meant to you.
It was a long friendship. We knew each other for 39 years, and our paths diverged and diverged as time went on. I've done a lot of solo work and a lot of touring with other people, and Dermot did a studio thing after Ryan's. This was all after Ryan's Fancy. So we sort of wove in and out of each other a fair bit over the years. But always when we got together to sing and play, it was always a magical time, because it was never really a gig at the later stages anyway. It was never a gig, it was just an exploration of music and just a jam session between two old musical buddies.
But he was a lovely man.
He was a great fella, yeah, he was a really good fella, and he had the knack of sort of making everybody sort of feel like they were his personal friend. And he meant that, I'm sure, and it was just... he was just a very genuine fella, and especially as a stage performer, he was just a natural on stage.
Now, in the upcoming weeks, we are going to have some selections of Dermot singing some of his songs. But tonight, we're going to see some footage from a show called the Bonavista Line. What do you remember about that trip from Clarenville to Bonavista?
I mean, it's like going on a ghost ride now, because there's no longer any trains. And going on the train from Clarenville to Bonavista was just an amazing time. Very bumpy, but it was quite a trip, seeing all those various places. And you know, the line going down to Bonavista crisscrosses the highway about 8 or 9 times, I think. And I've driven that since the train has gone, and it's all smoothed out now. But I remember the bumps and the grinds and all that stuff from travelling through the various communities.
Well, I know you haven't seen this in a long time, so we're all going to look at it now once again. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ryan's Fancy en route to Bonavista with a stop in Trinity.